We're migrating 3 live bubble apps with thousands of users to AI code right now. In this video, I'll show you the pros and cons of migrating, how to decide if it's right for you, and what the migration process looks like. We'll cover the real benefits, the hidden costs, a 5-factor decision framework to know if you're ready, and what the migration journey actually looks like in terms of timeline, rollout strategies, and the technical complexity behind the scenes. For those new here, over the past 5 years, my team and I have built over 100 apps for businesses worldwide. We build with AI every day, and I teach it in my school community. Let's get started. Let's cover the benefits first, okay? What used to take 2 weeks in Bubble, in some cases can take 2 days in AI code. We're using tools like Cursor and Claude to generate code from plain English descriptions. The first major benefit is 10x faster development. What used to take 2 weeks in NoCode can in some cases take 2 days in AI code. Right now, I can think of 2 specific instances where just thinking, estimating, planning the feature would have taken 2 weeks. We've got both work streams at our agency. Think about it this way. In both tech stacks, you have to come up with a bit of a plan or a product thinking about what feature do we want to make. Once you feed that context to AI and ask it to go through the code base and implement it, AI can just implement things way faster. Whereas when it comes to the no-code part, you have to click around and actually start spending time and manually building a whole bunch of stuff. That's where the difference happens. The product thinking is almost the same, but the actual development time speeds up very quickly. This means faster feature iteration cycles, faster bug fixes, faster time to market. Now, the next big benefit is better performance. No-code platforms, under the hood, they work at a higher abstraction level and they have to compile code because at the end of the day, JavaScript is what runs on the browser. Because of those abstraction layers, they are inherently slower. Whereas with code, there's less abstraction layers and you also have granular control on what to load and what to optimize to squeeze out more from it. And you can just ask Claude to make this faster and it can do a good job. Apart from the fact that code in general is faster, if you just check page load speed times or query times or anything because of the abstraction layer, you also have granular control on the code part to be able to squeeze more performance out in different sections if you need it. This means a better user experience, better retention, fewer complaints about this app is slow. If you're finding this valuable, hit that like button, helps the algorithm, costs you nothing, and lets me know that this content is useful. Now, this can be a controversial one, but we can't deny the facts. Investor perception and exit value perception, when it comes to the IP or code or ownership or vendor lock-in, they'll value the code base at a different premium compared to the no-code powered tech platform. Even with the same revenue, same users, the valuation will be different. I've had first-hand conversations with many founders, and one of our clients chose to go for migration specifically because of this reason. There are a whole bunch of other stuff like general scale factors. Code, it's just more scalable in terms of user and traffic and storage and database. Team members, if you want to scale a lot more developers, it's very hard to put like 20 developers onto a no-code platforms, but you can put 20 developers onto code-based SaaS. There's no vendor lock-in as such, and you can also scale infrastructure rapidly, whether it's geographically scaling it or scaling it within the same instance, custom compute, storage, RAM, everything. You just have more control over how you want to scale yourself. But it's not all roses. There are some hidden costs as well. Now, the first one is infrastructure ownership. No-code platforms manage all the hosting, the deployment, the servers for you. Now, there are platforms like Railway, AWS, DigitalOcean. Platforms exist for the world of code. It's just that the responsibility of configuring them and setting them up and maintaining them is on you now. There's more control, which is beneficial, but there's more complexity in a sense as well. So if you're overwhelmed by all of this complexity, don't worry, we handle migrations for clients. Link in the description below for a free strategy call. We've done this multiple times now and it's quite easy for us. The next is infrastructure security ownership. So no-code platforms would handle that for you as well. Whereas in this case, it's also your responsibility. So if you're relying on a particular code framework, let's say Next.js or Python Django, if there's an under the hood like version update or security update, it's on you to update your application. Whereas no-code platforms would handle quite a bit of this part themselves built in. And then a big one, migration is not free. None of the no-code platforms will allow you to one-click export into code and go away. Some low-code platforms, yes. Depending on the size of the app and the complexity of the migration, it can take weeks, months. It depends on who is doing it. whether they've done it before like us or whether you're learning how to do it on the fly. This is not just a simple weekend project. The 3 platforms we're migrating had years of bubble development in them, and we're taking 4 or 5 months to rebuild them using AI code. Quick side request, please subscribe to the channel. I post weekly about NoCode to AI code and migrations and general AI code content. Now, some of the other key aspects to consider are the team skill gaps. You need some developers who either understand the code or have a strong ability to learn it as well. It can be learned. I've got a school community where I teach this stuff. It's a learnable skill. The stack ownership, I've got a detailed video. I can link it below on which stack we chose and why and how, but this is your ownership now. It's kind of like choosing between Bubble or Software, what no-code platforms. It's the same in code. You have to choose what your stack is and then you stick with it. And the environment setup and the DevOps, like local development, some DevOps deployment infrastructure, there's a bit of a learning curve there. I've got some videos on that as well. And there's some discussion in the school community around CI/CD pipelines as well happening. Nothing impossible, but these are just some of the things to be aware of when considering migration options. So should you migrate? I've had multiple conversations with founders and business owners, and some of them decided to migrate, some of them are not deciding to migrate. So I've tried to condense all the learnings and try to come up with 5 key factors and areas to come up with a decision, whether this is suitable or not. The first is product readiness. Is it an MVP? Are there rapid changes and pivoting and we need the speed of AI code? Is it post product market fit? We have got a validated product. We've got a roadmap of features we want to build and we're scaling it. Is it an internal tool which is mature? It works. There's not much development happening in it. Those are some of the factors to consider. The roadmap depth is a key factor as well. If you don't have much feature development happening, just stay. If you've got long pipeline of features, well, then migration can make sense. It takes 2 steps. You take a step back, but then you start taking 2 steps forward faster. The second factor is platform pain. Okay, so are we hitting performance limits? Are we hitting limits of integration complexity? Are we hitting, oh, this feature is too hard or too complicated to pull into Bubble or NoCode? Or are we hitting some scalability concern? That's one of the areas to consider. Third one is resource availability. So it's like, is there budget for it? Is there time to have a feature freeze? The team, are they skilled enough or are they willing to learn and hire? Is there an ROI of this migration in terms of exit value? You don't migrate just for the sake of it. It's a business decision. So beyond technical considerations, there are strategic considerations. Is there a 10x valuation boost? If you're planning to sell in 5 years, worth investing now to get a better valuation. In terms of IP and asset ownership, owning the code is an asset. We're not dependent on some vendor lock-in. Now, some of the other key factors to consider. Feature velocity demands. Clients expect us to ship stuff way faster. Like NoCode was fast, AI code is even faster. The next one is deep AI integration in NoCode platforms is generally hard. Like I want to chat with my entire database. I want to chat with this. There's a whole bunch of platforms which are rolling this out. Whereas you can connect AI with streaming, with chat, tool calls, have a deep AI integration to the database, agentic workflows. That type of stuff in NoCode is just too hard. It's not easily possible, whereas that is possible in code. Unit economics at scale, the cost factors, no-code platforms can start charging a bit more per user, whereas with code, you've got optimization options and you can shrink the cost. So compliance could be another reason and factor. You can host your infrastructure in whichever geography you want, much cheaper in general compared to no-code platforms. We charge a very big premium for enterprise plans to host it in a different instance. So you can come up with a bit of a scoring criteria. This is a business decision. What factor has how many points? Put a basic rank point score to everything. And then you can kind of like come up with, I should have migrated yesterday or I just stay in no code. It depends on where you are. So what to expect? The migration journey, what's the timeline process? It's not going to happen overnight. So let's cover those now. The first big question everybody asks is, how long will it take to rebuild the whole thing? And there's no one size fits all answer. If it's a simple app, it's app users, complex app, lots of users, how many features there are, and depends also on the person doing it. So we've done it 3 times now. We know how to go through the motions quickly. If somebody's learning AI code and doing it and going through the growing pains, that's why I've got the school community where we talk a lot about this stuff as well. There's no one size fits all. It can take months, it can take weeks. The next big thing to keep in mind is what's the actual rollout strategy, okay? There's 2 big key approaches. You're like, okay, Friday, it's off. Friday, old platform is domain different and new platform up, and there's a bit of downtime and everything moves over. There's a whole bunch of prep work that needs to happen to make that magic work. And the other is a rolling migration. You've got both platforms live in parallel, and you've told in the old platform, why don't you go to version 2? Click this link, and then you migrate people in batches. Try and keep data in sync. So this strategy overall, again, no one size fits all, just depends on the business, the app, the users, the stage, but it has an impact on the development timeline and the complexity of how to roll it out. Now, some key points to consider around how does the data move and how does the authentication move. Okay, Bubble or any no-code platform won't just like, here's all the users' passwords, upload it to a new system and you're good to go. You can't do that. So the actual authentication mechanism has to change. We ended up going with one-time passwords. So it's the same email address, and the email address gets a one-time password. Once they authenticate the password and the same email address, in the backend, it checks this email already exists in a user. Let me pull all its data based on that authentication mechanism. So in one app case, we had to switch out from a username password login flow to an OTP flow, primarily because we wanted to migrate all the users' authentication. Now, we could just set a new password link, but they won't get the link or they'll just do some other stuff. So we went with the OTP route, but you have to think about authentication a bit. The other part is the database schema migration. Just a quick note, MCP tools have helped us a lot. I don't want to get too technical in this video, but you can have an AI agent which is connected to Bubble backend and connected to a code backend. And then you can ask the AI agent to compare the schema and generate the scripts, which makes it way easier to generate the migration scripts in an accurate factor. So it's still work, but having that AI agent connected to both backends using MCP has drastically sped up our work. And then you have staging environments and you have to test migrations repeatedly, test the features repeatedly, clone production data, validate everything before you go live. So it's not just a case of rebuild all the features. Overall, this is the part where quite a bit of time is spent during migration. The other aspect to consider is what happens to the users. You kind of just let the users know there'll be a maintenance window, improved performance coming, new platform coming, kind of take the previous site down for a while, have a buffer time, and after the migration, test the new platform, ask the users, system's now up, and there is a bit of a user experience impact, but generally speaking, you'd be like, same stuff works better. That's what we want to go for. Some other key factors to consider, you may have a period where you're maintaining two systems in parallel for debugging, backup, testing, making sure while everything's going through. The developer experience does matter a lot in terms of like who is doing this whole process. I would definitely avoid pure wipe coding. Okay, AI code can be super fast, but blindly trusting it definitely has security risks. So you have to be more like a specification driven development. It's an engineering way of AI development. By the way, if you want to learn spec driven AI development properly, that's what we teach in the school community. Link in the description below. You can't just make app and expect it to be fine. Plan time for some post-launch friction, a support window, edge cases, questions, bugs, stuff will happen. Just plan for it. Okay. But keep in mind, it's one step backward for 2 steps forward and 10x speed and 10x valuation and scalability. That's why we're here. Any questions? Comment below, ask in the school community, book a call. Always happy to have a chat. Once again, like, subscribe. If you want to do it yourself, join the school community. If you want to get us to do it, book a call and we'll take it forward. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye. We're migrating 3 live Bubble apps with thousands of users to AI code right now. In this video, I'll show you the pros and cons of migrating, how to decide if it's right for you, and what the migration process looks like. We'll cover the real benefits, the hidden costs, a 5-factor decision framework to know if you're ready, and what the migration journey actually looks like in terms of timeline, rollout strategies, and the technical complexity behind the scenes. For those new here, over the past 5 years, my team and I have built over 100 apps for businesses worldwide. We build with AI every day, and I teach it in my school community. Let's get started.